Hello everybody. Okay, this is exciting. A lot of people have been waiting for this, and now it is finally here. I'm going to make a bruiser guide for Shaco. Now, I'm only going to go over one build, because I think that's the only one build that you should actually ever run. I might make a separate video about anti-tank Shaco basically, but that's a different story. Now, recently Extreme Person started running Phase Rush for tank Shaco, and it's been kind of everywhere. Chase runs it now, I run it now, most other people run it now, but a lot of people still have questions about, what to build, what runes to take, and how to play this. So after spending about 50 games playtesting in around Gold to even Challenger Elo, I think I have finally enough experience to actually go over how to play this. Now, obviously, link to both Extreme Person's Twitch and his OPGG are in the info box. So yeah, let's get right into it. Now, first of all, obviously, the runes. Now, I'm going to go a bit more in depth than I usually do in my guides, just so you guys kind of get the hang of it. So Phase Rush is really, really cool. After 3 separate attacks, you gain a shit ton of movement speed. The reason you take this is because the only thing that 80 Shaco is actually good at is be like annoying, and with Phase Rush, and especially Nimbus Cloak, which you're also going to take, you are going to be able to stick to targets infinitely long. It's so disgusting. You will never be able to get kited. I had a game where I played against a Draven with his W speed boost, with his flash, Nimbus Cloak, and with heal movement speed, and I still caught up to him. It's crazy. Anyways, Phase Rush is really broken because it also procs from Red Smite, Auto Attack, and then the Cinderhulk proc. So basically you can proc Phase Rush in only one Auto Attack, which is crazy. So that's really, really good. Now, again, this just allows you to stick to your targets really easily, and just allows you to basically chip them down slowly but surely. Nimbus Cloak, again, same reason. You can proc it twice in a fight. You can use it with your Red Smite, and you can also use it with Ignite. So basically, you have infinite sticking power, if that makes sense. Your E obviously also slows if you didn't use it yet. So honestly, this is just super, super good. Transcendence, I wouldn't say it's the obvious choice. Some people might want to, try Celerity just for the extra movement speed. I don't think it's worth it. I'll just take the 10% CDR instead. It's really, really nice. Water Walking, again, bonus 80 in AP and movement speed when in the river. This is really, really nice, especially in those early Scuttle Crab fights. You're actually pretty strong. You actually have decent dueling power, even with Phase Rush. So, yeah, this just makes you super quick around the map, really easy to rotate. Dragon fights, Baron fights, you're going to be so annoying to deal with. You could obviously try to go Gathering Storm, but I feel like the difference is just, I don't know, it isn't that big. You could get away with this too if you want the extra 80. I don't think it makes too much of a difference though. I just prefer the movement speed from Water Walking and the early game power this provides. Okay, so secondary domination. This is something that I still have to test. I've only been running this exact page every game. I still have to test the secondary trees a little bit more, because I could see Resolve working pretty well in an even more tankier build, or even something like Inspiration or Precision. But yeah, for now this is what I recommend running. Eyeball Collection just so you get more AD. You could probably get away with Sudden Impact too. I'm just not sure how much damage the Sudden Impact is actually going to provide you with. So having this, the adaptive force is a lot better here. Just the raw AD, I guess. And then Relentless Hunter is just super broken. It is a really great early game power tool where you get 1 or 2 kills and you get a shit ton of extra movement speed. You lose the movement speed in combat, which, I mean, doesn't really matter much because you have Phase Rush and Nimbus Cloak. But this just, it really helps you get around the map. It really helps you have that AD assassin vibe, where you're just super quick and super fast, and you can just go in whenever you want to. So this really helps with it. And then obviously you can stick to targets really, really easily with the Phase Rush. In terms of the mini runes, attack speed, obvious choice, then AD, and then armor. That's just whatever, what we always go on 80 Shaco. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The items. This is what most people are here for. Okay, the start, always the same. You get a Warning Totem, you get the Hunter's Machete, Hunter's Talisman, and the Rejuvenation Bead. Now, your first pack, you should try to aim for a Balmy Cinder, or or a Skirmisher Saber. Usually, I've done both. They're both good at different things. Bambi Cinder gives you better clear, this gives you more dueling power. So depending on what you need, you might want to, you know, try around a little bit and see what you think makes more sense in your current situation. But usually I would say Bambi Cinder is better. Now, obviously you finish Cinder Hulk as soon as possible. Really, really great power spike. Insane clear speed. Fun fact, actually, Extreme Person made a tweet about this. Cinder Hulk actually has the fastest clear time out of all the jungle items and all the, you know, different playstyles of Shaco. So yeah, it's faster than Tiamat, it's faster than AP. So, I mean, this is just broken. Now, he does go Tiamat as well, which I think actually works pretty well. It allows you to proc Phase Rush even faster if you want to. It also helps your clear, obviously. And it has a great, you know, it's a great way to have something in between your auto attacks. Also, again, better wave clear because Cinder Hulk actually isn't that good at wave clear. It deals increased damage to monsters, but not to minions or to champions. So, yeah, Tiamat really helps with this. Now, afterwards, or even before Tiamat, you might want to finish your boots. Now, depending on what you need, obviously, if the enemy team is very AD heavy and has a lot of auto attack based champions, then Ninja Tabis is really good. If the enemy team has a lot of CC or magic damage, then you might want to go Merc Treads. Afterwards, you go for Trinity Force. It is just the best item in the game because it provides you with every stat, basically. It doesn't actually provide you with every stat, but it kind of gets close to it. You get attack speed, which is nice. You get the mana, which is actually really helpful. Might seem stupid, but you can actually spam your abilities pretty well. It has the Phage buff, which basically gives you movement speed when auto-attacking. It has the on-hit damage, which is also nice. Even though you're trying to basically deal damage over time, or DPS rather, not burst, it still helps you a shit ton. You obviously have HP, and you just get everything in this item. You also get 80, you get movement speed, and then 20% CDR. So this item is just, it's great. It's expensive, obviously, but once you complete this, it's a decent power spike. Now, after Trinity Force, this is where Extreme Person's build and mine changes. He usually likes to go either Titanic or Zeke's or something. What I usually do, though, is I go Death Stance. Now, the reason I go Death Stance is because, first of all, it's really broken. It's the most broken item in the game at the moment. And in 90% of the cases, it's the perfect item. It provides armor, it provides magic resist, which is good. The CDR is also great. You get to 100%. You get to 40%. It provides 50-80, which is decent. And it also provides you a heal for the damage you deal. And it also takes 30% of the damage you take and turns it into a dot. Now, the good thing about this is, if you just consistently auto-attack people and have your Cinder Hulk deal damage and your Tiamat have deal damage, and even your clone deals damage, then you will heal back the dot that you take as a damage, if that makes sense. So the 30% you take as damage that are converted into a dot, you basically heal back up, so you take 30% less damage, which is super broken, right? So this is the obvious choice in my opinion. This just allows you to soak up so much damage and not dying and being super annoying, chipping away the enemy AD carry or AP carry because they can't run away because you have Phase Rush and Nimbus Cloak. You also have your E-Slow, so this item, it's, once you have this, it's fucking, it's so great. Now, after this, this isn't where it really depends now. This is where you actually have to adapt to the enemy team. So if the enemy team is very AD heavy and they have healing, or I don't know, like a Kayn on jungle, and maybe I don't know, a Phelias or something like a Draven on AD carry that has like healing from items, this is really great. You get a shit ton of armor, you get a shit ton of HP, and you get the passive, which not only slows their attack speed, but it also makes them heal less. It gives them grievous wounds. So this item is really good into AD heavy comps that have healing, which most AD carries have these days. So this is, Craigasm. Now you can also finish with Titanic Hydra for more burst, for more HP. In combination with Cinder Hulk, this gives even more HP, and depending on how much HP you have, this item deals more damage. So that's also great. Now you can also go something like that Man's Plates, you can also go something like Wit's End, you could probably go something like Adaptive Helmet if they have like Cassiopeia or something. It just really depends. This is where tank itemization comes in, which I'm not too familiar with, but you just build resistances that you need, and most items do the job for you, if that makes sense. Batman's Plate again is really cool. It gives you the movement speed and that on-hit damage, which can be nice. You can also go randoms if the enemy team has like 2 or 3 crit champions. But yeah, usually I haven't found myself building those items yet. I usually stick to most of these items. So again, Wit's End, Magic Resist, or Adaptive Helmet maybe. And Blade of the Ruined King, I've actually never built. But if I ever get into a game where the enemy team has like 3 or 4 tanks, like full-on tanks, I could see this working after Death Dance or even after 24s. Because this item allows you you melt tanks basically. Now, the last item usually I build to finish my build off is Zeke's. This item might seem troll because it's really cheap and you usually want to finish your build with an expensive item to make the most out of it. But this item is actually great. It gives 60 armor, 30% magic, 30 magic resist, 250 mana, and 10% CDR. Now, what most people don't know is you can use this item in 2 ways. You can obviously bind it to a teammate, then press R. Your teammate gets the on it damage, the fire thing, and you get the frost slow thingy. But yeah, this is where the Mastermind Shaco players come in. You can actually bind this to your clone. So the way you do this is, let's say you're in a fight right now. You press R, your clone spawns. What you have to do now is you bind the Zeeks to your clone. Important, you have to first ult, then bind the Zeeks to your clone. And now you have to press R once to move your clone. Important, you have to actually press R, not Alt and right click, you have to press R. And boom, your clone has the fire thingy, and you have the frost thingy. And it's just so broken. Oh, this is lovely. This item actually makes you deal a lot more damage, gives you the slow, which makes it even easier to stick to targets. It's just so brilliant. It's beautiful. And even if you don't bind it to your clone and bind it to your AD carry, that's still broken because AD carries at 40 minutes, they're going to be so broken. If you give them Zeeks, they're going to be even more broken. Just imagine Aphelios with this item on him. Boom, insta win. So yeah, this is usually what I build. This is what usually a full build looks like. Obviously, could be any variation of those items in here, but that is usually the build. Now, build is done, okay? What I do want to say though is, before I show you guys gameplay, this build is not a 1v9 build. What this means is, the build is good, it works, it definitely does. I've won most of my games, easily actually. The thing is, this build will not carry you in a 3 losing lane setup, where AP Shaco or AD Assassin Shaco could easily carry still. This build doesn't allow you to one-shot people, don't get the wrong idea. You're just really annoying and you kill them over like 5 seconds without them being able to kill you back. So just keep that in mind, okay? It's not a carry build. You might not want to play it below Diamond to Elo. That is what I would recommend. Again, you can play it, obviously. Don't just, just keep in mind, you might not be able to carry with it. But again, do your testing. It's up to you, obviously. I can't physically stop you from playing this build. I just give you recommendations, and that is it, I would say. So in terms of gameplay, it's really hard to go over this because I've tried with AP before and it failed horribly. So I'm just going to give you a few things on the way that hopefully help you to play this build properly. Now, the early game is similar to AD Shaco, just with the difference that you don't have Hail of Blades, so you don't have that much damage. The good thing is though, usually when you gank a lane, people flash away and they're gone, right? They flash away, there's nothing you can do about them, because usually you queue behind them to get the box down, they flash out of your box range and they're gone. Now, with this build, it's really easy to proc Phase Rush and Nimbus Cloak and stick to them anyways. And then with your E-Slow, it's still really possible to turn a flash into a kill still. So that's something that is different to the regular AD Shaco with Hail of Blades. Now, your clear is also a lot faster than standard AD Assassin Shaco with only Tiamat. Once you have Cinderhulk, your clear is actually like 20 seconds faster if you do a full clear. I think that were the stats, around 20 seconds. Now, this allows you to obviously farm even more. That doesn't mean you should be power farming, but You can sneak in like an extra camp usually before you go for a gank that you wouldn't have been able to take on the standard assassin Shaco. You also pretty much get away with anything, which is kind of dumb, because you shouldn't, especially on a champion like Shaco. And because you have Phase Rush and Nimbus Cloak, you can basically just, you can queue in, realize you fucked up, smite them, or if you need even more movement speed, you can ignite them, proc your Phase Rush, and just run the fuck away, which is really dumb. They can obviously still chase you, they can obviously still stun you, they can obviously still flash behind you, and you might still die, but if they don't have those things, you can go in and just run out again, which is, it's super funny. You can get like 600 movement speed, it looks hilarious, and it's just a lot of fun to play. Now, the thing is, describing the playstyle is going to be a little bit harder. What I would recommend you to do is, I'm still going to try, but what I would recommend you to do is look at either Extreme Person's VODs if he has any on Twitch, or look at the last 2 gameplay videos that I uploaded, or I think the last one before this one. But basically I had 2 Phase Rush videos that should give you a general idea on how to play the build. Usually what you want to do is, it's the same as Assassin Shaco. You go into the carries and try to kill them. Now the good thing is, you draw a lot of aggro from the enemy team. They're obviously going to try and stop you from killing their carries, which then in return makes it really easy for your team to kill the front line and start melting through the tanks and the bruisers and all that, while you are basically rendering the enemy carries useless by them having to focus you to stop you from killing them. So that is the way I would describe playing this in the late game. You can still assassinate people. It's just not a 0.5 second assassination, it's a 5-second assassination. If you see a carry on a side lane, you literally don't have to be scared to go in. You won't be able to kill them instantly, but you don't have to actually outplay them to kill them. Unlike with AD Shaco, for example, or Assassin AD Shaco, sorry, where you would have to, for example, dodge their main spells or have to, actually one-shot them before they one-shot you. With this build, you're pretty safe, and even if you notice, oh, I fucked up, then you can still run away with Phase Rush and with Nimbus Cloak. So that is how I'd say this build basically plays out. You're just very tanky, you have decent damage actually, don't underestimate the damage. It's not like you deal no damage, you actually have decent damage. You get away with a lot more than you would with AD Shaco or even AP Shaco. Even though AP Shaco is already really safe, with Tank Shaco you get away with murder basically. It's really dumb. So I hope this helped. I might make a follow-up video on anti-tank Shaco, but apart from that I think this is done. Again, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. And then I would recommend checking out Extreme Person's Twitch and his OTG for more information. Or just write a comment and I'll try to answer. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.